Hey guys, welcome to the Manlihood ManCast. We're going to get into the meat of this week's episode in just a minute, but I want to share with you that we're talking about some wisdom and quotes from the Stoics. So Stoic philosophy is really neat, and there's some really helpful stuff that I think is really beneficial to men, especially in this climate that we're living in right now. So we'll talk about that, we'll unpack it, but before we do, please make sure you guys follow us, subscribe, like, share, comment, all of the things that you can do. Help us get the word out to others. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell to get notifications so you can know when we have a new video. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please leave us a review because it's going to help other people see that what we're doing is good, that it's important, that it has value. And, share it with somebody. Tell somebody that you know about what we're doing here at Manlihood. And appreciate it. So we're going to get into the meat of this, some Stoic wisdom, in just a minute.
Are you ready to live life to the full? Are you ready to rise up and live a life of honor? Are you ready to boldly step into a life of courage? This is the Manlihood ManCast, and here's your host, Josh Hatcher.
Welcome back to the Manlihood ManCast. I'm your host, Josh Hatcher, and we are looking into some wisdom from the Stoics. Now, Stoic philosophy is kind of gathering a resurgence right now, and I think it's kind of a neat concept. It was early Greek and Roman philosophers who kind of developed this mindset. And now I think that the mindset probably existed before, but maybe they were the ones who started writing it down, and so they're often credited with this. And so we're going to look at what some of the Stoics have said over the years, and we're going to look at early Stoics and then even more recent Stoics as well. But I think that it's a philosophy that is built more on keeping emotion in the right place, valuing intellect over feelings, being guided by principles rather than, instinct, I guess. And I think that there are some really good and practical lessons we can learn for life. So I'm going to read you some of these. I'll tell you a little bit about the person that said them, and I'll show them on the screen so you can see them as well. So let me know what you think, guys. I'd love to hear your opinions on this stuff. Feel free to weigh in, leave some comments. Can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on some of this stuff. Guys, in 121 AD, Marcus Aurelius was born. He was a Roman emperor, and he is known for his treatise on Stoic philosophy entitled Meditations. So let me read you some quotes from Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. It never ceases to amaze me we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Yeah, that's some pretty good stuff there. That's deep. It's truth, isn't it? If it's not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. I can't tell you how many times I have wrestled with or struggled with being offended by something someone says. And the honest truth is, it doesn't matter what they say. It matters how I take it and what I do with it. I need to practice this daily, and it's good advice. Aurelius also says, it's time you realize that you have something in you more powerful and miraculous than the things that affect you and make you dance like a puppet. Another of the Stoic philosophers was Lucius Seneca. And Seneca was born in about 6 BC in Spain. He was popular in the Roman Empire and was a statesman and leader of the people. Seneca said this, if a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable. That's one of the reasons why I talk so much about knowing what your purpose, mission, vision, values are. Because if you don't know who you are and where you're going and what matters to you, there's nothing that you're ever going to accomplish. If you do accomplish it, you're going to accomplish it by accident. So, know who you are and where you're going. Because if not, you can't. Doesn't matter. Every wind that comes your way, every opportunity, none of them are going to feel right because you don't know. Seneca says this, nothing to my way of thinking is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. That's some truth too. Sometimes we just don't like to be lonely. We don't like to be alone. Actually, as I'm recording this, my wife went away for the weekend, and for the most part, the house has been empty. I've been alone, and I liked it. Kind of needed it. Sometimes we have to be able to you don't have to be entertained. You don't have to be occupied by other people or other things. Sometimes you just need that solitude and that ability to be okay with just you in the room. Seneca also says this: life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. And how about this one? How does it help to make troubles heavier by bemoaning them? In other words, you going through a rough time? Yeah, complain about it. See if that makes it any better. So Epictetus was a Greek philosopher who was born in 55 AD. His work was very popular with Christian thinkers of the day. So he was born a slave and then later freed, and he grew up mostly lame and unable to walk very well. Here are some of Epictetus' quotes. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Curb your desire. Don't set your heart on so many things, and you will get what you need. Yeah, Epictetus has got some great thoughts. All of these philosophers, guys, you can look them up and see many of the things they've written have been translated into English, and you can look at them and learn from them. And I really think that there's a lot of really neat teachings that can be applied. Let's look at one of the more modern philosophers who we would probably classify as Stoic based on his view of things. His name was Viktor Frankl, and Viktor actually survived his time at a concentration camp in Nazi Germany and went on to be a psychologist, and actually really developed some very powerful ways to think about trauma and how trauma is processed based on his living through some of the most traumatic experiences anybody could imagine. So let's see what Viktor Frankl has to say. What man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for some goal worthy of him. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Now, knowing his experience in the concentration camps and the things he went through, I'm actually reading right now, I've been reading through his book, Man's Search for Meaning, and just seeing what he had to endure, and knowing that in the middle of all of that, he was learning to choose hope, learning to choose that things would get better, learning to deal with it internally. He had no choice of how they were going to treat him. He had no choice of whether he was going to live or die. That was all in the hands of the Nazis. But he did have a choice in how he reacted, how he chose to process those events around him. And I think it's pretty inspiring. And check out this final quote from Victor. He says, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." I think we forget how much power we have in choice. It is easy for us to look at the things happening to us, to see life as happening to us. It's coming against us. Everything wrong is coming our way. We have to deal with all this stuff, and it weighs us down. But the honest to goodness truth is, we can choose to let those hardships make us stronger, or we can choose to wallow in pity, and really it keeps us there if we do that. We can complain about it. We can almost embrace the suffering as though it's somehow virtuous. I don't think the virtue is in the suffering. I think the virtue is in the overcoming. And you're not going to overcome suffering unless you change what's in here in your mind. Unless you change your mind, and unless you fix it on overcoming, you're not gonna. So I think suffering, we need to view these things, these hardships, these hard times, as opportunities for us to grow and learn and be strengthened. We should look at our hardships as training, because they do. They train us. They make us stronger. It's like working out in the gym and lifting more weight and doing more reps, and it builds our muscle, and now we are stronger. It's like working out in the dojo and working on our strikes and our blocks, and you do them repeatedly, and you build muscle memory, and then you have that now in your arsenal because you have done it repeatedly until you know it. And I think, honestly, guys, that's what hardship and suffering and hard times will do if we let it. Anyway, guys, that's my quotes from the Stoics for you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Manlihood ManCast. Please leave us a review on the podcast. Leave us a comment. Share it with your friends. Go to manlihood.com/store, or actually, even if you go to manlihood.com/reignite, there's a fantastic resource for you there. I would really love it if you would check that out. So manlihood.com/reignite. I love you guys. I care about you, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, man. I see you. I see your fire going out. I see your marriage barely holding on. I know you're broke, wore out, and at the end of your rope. I've been there. It sucks. It sucks the spark right out of you, till all you have is a pile of wet wood. It feels like it's never gonna burn. I can't fix your problems. I can't make her love you again. I can't lose 50 pounds for you or fill your bank account. But I can remind you of who you are. I can share some of my fire. I can help you make a plan to get your life back on track. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's reignite our lives. There's a lot at stake. No one wants their marriage to end in divorce. No one wants to wallow in despair or to the dark places that follow. So let's do it. Let's reignite our lives. Let's reignite our passion, our marriage, our health, our career, our dreams, our mindsets. Get reignite today.
If you want to be a better man, check out our website, manlihood.com, for blogs, videos, and more from our Manlihood team. And you can also join our private Facebook group, Manlihood ManCave, where you can meet up with a band of brothers who will challenge you and help you on your journey of manhood. This episode's produced by Hatcher Media for manlihood.com. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to the show. Tune in again for more of the Manlihood ManCast.